Hey, what's up, guys? My name is Cameron Gallagher from We Are Film, and today we're taking a very close look at the Triune Digital Vision Lens Effects Pack. So I'm very excited to talk about this one because I'm very excited about this product in general. But just to let you guys know, this was sent to us by Triune Digital. Now, they have nothing to do with us. They don't sponsor us in any way or shape or form. But this was sent to us, just so you guys know. But I am blown away, and this might be my favorite product that Triune Digital makes, and I'll explain why in a little bit. So basically, this is a lens effects pack that has everything you could imagine, from lens flares to different just kind of weird effects that are going on. I can't even explain some of them, but that's kind of the cool part. They have a really massive range of like reflections and sort of stuff like that, and this cool bokeh that you can overlay on top of your footage and add just a really cool element to your shot or just a lot of different stuff in general. Now, the cool thing is these come in Apple ProRes and H.264 versions. Personally, I got the Apple ProRes, I believe. I might have the H.264, but either way, they're pretty close. So I would say if you can buy the Apple ProRes, definitely do it. But if you're kind of worried about space, the H.264 is probably just fine. And I think it's maybe what we're using. I can't remember. So down here you can see they have 100 assets. They're all practically shot in 4K. Again, the ProRes and H.264, and they're a black background, which makes it super easy to add in blending modes. And they kind of talk about how it's great for music videos and titles and effects and logos, and this is true. Actually, I'm gonna straight up tell you this is the best pack on the internet. I'm going to tell you right now, don't buy any other lens effects pack. Other than maybe like film burns, because those are different. These are incredible, and they're so cool. And I'm going to show you sort of a little different version because they have really great examples here of some really cool sci-fi and epic stuff. And I'm going to show you maybe, I don't want to say a more practical version, but something that you or I might actually look at more often. So here in DaVinci Resolve, I have some wedding clips, and they're graded, and you can see they're just two wedding clips. Now this one has an actual real sun flare, so that is actually the sun flaring. And then over here we have one that has nothing, right? So the idea is that, and I'm going to bump down our playback so it's a little easier here. So the idea in this case is that when I shoot something like this, typically I'm wanting to use one of these lens effects for a transition. So let's jump in here, and we have a couple different flares and some visions. Yours may not look like this because mine's a different version. I was just given the beginning one. So here's some anamorphic flares. Here's some really cool like glass assets. So you can see like there's some really fast, flashy ones. So I could see if you were doing like a jewelry commercial, something like this would be really cool. Actually, that would be awesome. Maybe like a car commercial. Oh man, that's the thing about these. The possibilities are absolutely endless. So that one's really cool, very underwater-esque. I like that one too. Let's check out some of these flares. So these are some cool flares. So these are ones that we might want to use on our footage. So we might pick something like this because it's a little bit warmer. Now, granted, that one's moving, so I may not use that one. That one's nice. Let's see. Ooh, that's cool. Very sun-esque. Okay, nice. A lot of these are, this is what I mean, just these are so nice. Okay, this one's cool because I like the fact that the light comes down. So let's make an in point here and then an out point like right there as the light kind of gets right there. And that's a great part is these are long clips. Like you can see this is a full clip right here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to drag this footage. And let's do the one without the lens flare first, right? So we see you're like, what is going on? This looks horrendous, right? Well, that's okay. So what we're going to do is, in our case, I'm going to scale this up, right? So now the footage is the entire timeline. Cool. And what I'm going to do is we're going to go to our compositing mode. So in Premiere Pro, it would be the exact same way. It's just basically the composite mode. So things like add or, there's like overlay and stuff like that. And you can see it right here in our add. I find overlay, I think, is usually oh, maybe not. Sometimes, it's different between the programs. You can see we can do any different type we want. But in this case, it's just add. So you can see now that when we watch our clip, now you're seeing it just jumps. You might be like, well, wait a minute. I don't want to do that. I don't want it to jump in and out. Well, that's fine. What you're going to do is you're going to add a little transition in the beginning and a little transition in the end there. So we'll add a couple little slow transition. So boom, we get a little bit of a flare. And look at that. It's like there was a sun there. Wow. Now, I actually don't like that one as much for this as I thought. So let's kind of try something different. Because there's a lot of cool options. So we don't want to sort of, throw ourselves into the same asset here. So let's go find something else. Let's try something like this. Yeah. This feels very edgy. Okay, so we'll take that. Let's throw it over. Let's do our little zoom in here. And that's kind of a cool shot that we might just use in general. So instead of putting it over the clip, let's just put it on top of this clip, right? So we'll do our little fade in, right? So, and you're like, wait a minute, where'd it go again, right? No, you know what we're going to do. You know how we're going to do this. Let's actually end that clip. Same thing. Let's go to add. Very cool, right? Okay, now here's the thing. You might be saying, well, it doesn't really match the footage because this is, you know, like a really warm clip and this is a very blue and cold steel kind of thing. Well, that's fine because the great part is these are clips. This is footage that we can, you know, change. So this is ProRes, by the way. So we can go in and let's change the temperature and let's warm it way up. Now, suddenly, we have a very, very yellow sort of version of that, right? So that's the great part is it doesn't have to be exactly, you know, you don't need this exact thing, right? And the cool part is too, is let's say, like I like that, right? But what I'd probably do is bring it more towards the edge of the frame. You might be like, well, you can see the edges. And that's why we're going to use this softness and we're going to crop the edges. So we'll actually crop it on the right-hand side. And you could use a mask if you wanted to. But suddenly now we have a little bit there on that side just to add a little bit of magic, right? And if we wanted to, we could even boost the exposure on this. So it's even that much more. Because again, these are clips. They're not like a weird asset that you have to import. This is just a normal, typical clip. So you can see this is a really huge and cool way that you can customize a lot of these. So don't just look at these as it is what it is. You know, look at this as something you could use for a lot of different things. So let's jump to a different actual shot and let's see what we can do there. Okay, so here I actually have two shots from a music video that we shot, and these are basically some dancing clips. So the girls here do a little move, and then another clip where they do a different move. And this is a great way, you know, we'd want to spice up this clip because, you know, the set looks good, but we sort of have some, just not really a whole lot going on. It's kind of boring. So this is where these types of flares, especially these anamorphic ones, could come in really good handy. So especially in this case where I kind of want to have this like real, you know, that we were going for this sort of old school look. We can see all these different anamorphic shots here. I actually kind of like this one that looks a little less anamorphic, but this guy. So let's drag this clip in and let's see what this looks like. Okay, so we might want that. Maybe just that first portion over this first clip, right? So we'll do the same thing. We're going to zoom in and let's do add. And now, boom, we have this cool little thing right there. Maybe we don't want it exactly in that spot. So I'm going to actually trim the clip over so we kind of get a different spot. Boom, boom. And then you can see, and we can of course drag it over both clips if we had these back to back. Look at that. Cool, 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 right? Neat. Now, granted, this is really hot, so we could probably bring the opacity down on that. So, boom. So that's a great example right there. It's a little more subtle, I think. So you see the shot, let's turn it off, I guess, first. So you see the shot without it. Looks good, right? You know, it's not bad. Then you see a shot with it. Has a little of that flare down there, and it has a little bit of that refraction over here, so we can see that it looks like just a much bigger budget shot. Now let's try some of these anamorphic ones because, you know, we love anamorphic. Boom, double anamorphic lines right there. Okay, cool. Let's bring that down. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to scale that up. Let's put these a little more towards the edge, just like that. And then what we're going to do is we're going to crop that again. So we're going to crop the right and soften it way up. Crop it even more. There we go. So there's kind of our anamorphic lines. We're going to add. Now watch. So here we go without it first. Boop, boop, boop. They're dancing. And then bam, 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 anamorphic. And we could always, of course, adjust the position. So if we wanted to bring it up and do that same thing, we just kind of soften it up. Cool. Now, one thing that we can do with this is there's actually lights right above right there that you can see. So we could also utilize this one where it's actually a light that's above. So we're really mimicking what's actually going on in the shot that much more. So let's take a peek at how this looks. And you're probably getting by now that the possibilities are literally endless, which is why I love these so much. So that is pretty neat. I'll drop the opacity a hair. So you can see without it, It's not bad. And then with it, just adds that little bit of movement and like there's a flare coming from those lights. So obviously this is just I'm just scratching the surface here. There's so many things you could do. Obviously, there's so many different pieces. I actually would wish I had like space shots. I could see shots like in space, like Interstellar and those types of things would look incredible, or like jewelry shots. I mean, if you have like any type of product photography or anything like that, I mean, these are just going to be absolutely incredible for. And as you can see already, there is a million different options. So I know it's kind of a long video and I was just sort of showing you just the tip of the iceberg, but I just wanted to give you guys a great example of there's customization within these because they are clips, and there are so many different versions that you could pretty much go for an endless amount of time. So I have been super excited about this pack, and I can't wait to use it on some product stuff and some music videos coming up. So anyway, guys, be sure to use the link down in the description below to check out Triune Digital's Vision Lens packs. Again, we're going to talk about some other Triune Digital packs coming up soon. So if you're not subscribed already, be sure to do that. Also, be sure to check out our podcast link down in the description below. But otherwise, thanks for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and I'll catch you guys later.